Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Today, we've got a fresh story for you about an artist from the US who moves to Chiang Mai. There, he meets a girl, and they really hit it off. But as their relationship grows, things start to get complicated and their bond faces some serious challenges. Follow along and discover how some unexpected help and a surprising revelation will change everything for them. Before we dive in, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new stories and support our channel's growth. All right, let's get started.
The decision to move to Chiang Mai wasn't a spur-of-the-moment choice. I had been planning it for months, ever since I visited the city on a backpacking trip a few years prior. There was something about Chiang Mai that felt like home. The ancient temples with their serene Buddha statues, the vibrant night markets filled with colors and aromas, and the friendly locals who greeted me with warm smiles. Back in the States, life had become monotonous. I was trapped in a 9-to-5 job that drained my creativity, and my comfortable apartment felt like a cage. I needed a change, a place where I could immerse myself in art every day. Chiang Mai seemed like the perfect choice. When I finally arrived, I rented a small studio apartment in the heart of the old city. It wasn't much, but it had a certain charm with its wooden floors and large windows that let in plenty of natural light. I set up my easel by the window, and each morning, I woke up to the sound of birds chirping and the sight of monks in saffron robes collecting alms. My days were filled with exploring the city, sketching in my notebook, and painting murals. Chiang Mai was my canvas, and I was eager to leave my mark on it. The locals were incredibly supportive, often stopping by to watch me work and offer words of encouragement. It didn't take long for me to feel like I was part of the community. One rainy afternoon I met Nam. The sky had opened up, and I ducked into a nearby bookstore to escape the downpour. The store was cozy, with wooden shelves packed with books and a small coffee corner that smelled of freshly brewed espresso. I wandered around, pretending to browse but mostly just enjoying the warmth and dryness. That's when I saw her. She was sitting at a table near the window, completely engrossed in a book. Her long black hair cascaded over her shoulders, and her face was a picture of concentration. When she finally looked up and saw me staring, she smiled, and it was like the sun breaking through the clouds. Feeling a bit awkward, I asked if I could sit at her table. She replied with a soft and welcoming voice, assuring me it was no problem. We struck up a conversation that felt as if we had known each other forever. Nam was studying literature at the local university and had a deep love for books and art. We talked about our favorite authors, dreams, and experiences in Chiang Mai. Time flew by, and before we knew it, the rain had stopped. Feeling a bit bold, I asked if she'd like to see one of my murals. Her eyes lit up, and she eagerly agreed. We left the bookstore and walked through the damp streets, chatting and laughing. I took her to one of my favorite murals, a vibrant piece depicting a mythical Thai creature. Nam was fascinated, asking questions about the inspiration and techniques behind it. She admired the work, telling me it was amazing and praising my talent with sparkling eyes. I felt a warm glow inside and offered to show her more. That was the start of our adventure together. Nam and I spent the next few weeks exploring the city. We visited ancient temples, each more beautiful than the last. We wandered through the night markets, sampling street food and picking up little trinkets. Nam introduced me to local delicacies like spicy papaya salad, crispy fried insects, and the most delicious mango sticky rice I had ever tasted. One day, we decided to take a trip to Doi Suthep, a mountain overlooking the city. The climb was exhausting, but the view from the top was breathtaking. The temple at the summit was adorned with golden spires and offered a panoramic view of Chiang Mai. We sat on the steps, catching our breath and soaking in the beauty of the moment. Nam asked if I ever missed home. I told her that sometimes I did, but Chiang Mai now felt like home. Meeting her had made it even more special. She smiled, took my hand, and we both felt a mutual sense of satisfaction and agreement about our shared feelings. Our bond grew stronger with each passing day. Nam wanted to become a writer and travel the world, while I dreamed of creating art that would inspire others. We encouraged each other, shared our fears and doubts, and found comfort in each other's company. Meeting Nam's family was a big step, and I was nervous. Her parents lived in a traditional Thai house on the outskirts of the city. When we arrived, her mother greeted us with a warm smile and a delicious spread of homemade dishes. Her father, though quiet and reserved, had a kind presence. Nam's younger brother, Jai, was a bundle of energy, constantly asking me questions about America and my art. Despite the language barrier, Nam's family welcomed me with open arms. Her mother taught me how to cook traditional Thai dishes, guiding me through making tom yum soup and pad Thai. Her father showed me around their garden, proudly displaying his collection of orchids and herbs. One evening, while we were sitting around the dinner table, Nam's father asked me about my plans for the future. I glanced at Nam and said that I intended to stay in Chiang Mai, where I had found a sense of belonging, and that I wanted to continue creating art here. Her father nodded thoughtfully and agreed that Chiang Mai was a good place with a rich history and culture. However, he also emphasized the importance of considering stability and security, especially if planning to start a family. I understood his concerns. Life as an artist could be unpredictable, and I knew I needed to work hard to prove that I could provide for Nam and our future. Life was perfect. Nam and I were blissfully happy, dreaming about our future together. But one evening, while we were having dinner at a small restaurant by the river, everything changed. Nam suddenly went quiet. Seeing the worry in her eyes, I felt a knot form in my stomach and asked her what was wrong. She revealed that she was pregnant, her voice trembling and tears welling up in her eyes. My mind raced with a million thoughts. I was surprised but also thrilled. I loved Nam more than anything, and the idea of starting a family with her filled me with joy. However, Nam's expression remained troubled. She revealed that her father had serious gambling debts. He had borrowed money from a wealthy businessman and was now in deep trouble. The businessman offered to pay off the debt on one condition: Nam had to marry him. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Nam was supposed to be in a relationship with this man, someone I didn't even know existed. I told her I was determined to protect our relationship and would find a way to pay off the debt. Selling my artwork or doing whatever it took were potential solutions to prevent the situation from destroying our bond. With tears streaming down her face, Nam nodded and expressed her deep love for me, saying she didn't want to marry the businessman. However, her father was desperate and viewed this as the only solution to his financial problems. I felt a surge of determination. I wasn't going to let this businessman, this stranger, take Nam away from me. We would find a way to overcome this obstacle, no matter what it took. The next few days were a whirlwind of emotions. Nam and I made a plan. We would pool our resources and sell as much of my artwork as possible. I reached out to friends and contacts in the art community for help. Nam spoke to her family, explaining our plan and pleading with them to give us a chance. It wasn't easy. The businessman, named Sam Chai, was a powerful figure in the city with connections and resources that made him a formidable opponent. But I refused to be intimidated. I spent every waking moment working on new pieces, pouring my heart and soul into my art. One evening, while working late in my studio, Nam came in with a worried look on her face. She had just spoken to her father, who said that Sam Chai was growing impatient. He demanded the debt be paid off within a month, or there would be severe consequences. Her voice trailed off, but I knew what she meant. Nam would have to marry Sam Chai. Trying to sound more confident than I felt, I assured Nam that I would find a way and that we would make it through. We continued working tirelessly. I held an exhibition at a local gallery, showcasing my latest murals and paintings. The turnout was better than expected, and we sold a few pieces, but it still wasn't enough. The debt was massive, and time was running out. Just when things seemed darkest, we received a glimmer of hope. While working on a mural in a busy part of the city, a group of tourists stopped to watch. Among them was an art dealer from Bangkok named Aaron. He was impressed by my work and offered to buy several pieces for a gallery exhibition in the capital. Aaron examined one of my murals and noted its unique style and depth. He believed it would do exceptionally well in Bangkok. The money from the sale was a significant boost, but it still wasn't enough to clear the entire debt. However, Aaron's interest in my work gave me an idea. If we could gain more exposure and attract more buyers, we might just raise the remaining amount. I reached out to other galleries and art collectors, using every connection I had. I also started an online campaign, sharing my story and my art with a wider audience. The response was overwhelming. People from all over the world sent messages of support and encouragement. Some even purchased my artwork through my website. With the money from these sales, we managed to significantly reduce the debt. But Somchai was growing more impatient, and the deadline was fast approaching. Nam and I were exhausted, both physically and emotionally. The stress was taking its toll, but we refused to give up. We continued to work tirelessly, driven by our love and determination to build a future together. One evening, while we were in my studio, Nam's phone rang. It was her father, informing her that Somchai had agreed to give us a little more time. However, we still needed to find the remaining money quickly. Anxious about the situation, Nam reassured her father with her trembling voice that we were doing everything we could to raise the funds. After the call, we sat in silence, the weight of the situation pressing down on us. Then a thought struck me. Nam and I discussed the idea of holding a fundraising event to help cover the remaining money. The plan was to showcase my art, feature live performances, and sell tickets. This approach aimed to generate the funds we needed. Nam's eyes lit up at the suggestion. She saw the potential in the idea and realized that inviting everyone we knew and promoting the event on social media could greatly increase its reach. We got to work immediately, planning the event down to the smallest detail. We booked a venue, reached out to local musicians and performers, and created promotional materials. The community support was incredible. People donated their time, resources, and even money to help us. The night of the fundraiser was magical. The venue was packed with people eager to support us. My artwork was displayed around the room, and the atmosphere was buzzing with hope and excitement. Nam and I stood at the entrance, greeting guests and thanking them for their support. The evening was a whirlwind of activity, with live performances, a silent auction, and impromptu speeches from friends and supporters. The highlight of the night came when Aaron, the art dealer from Bangkok, made a surprise appearance. He took the stage and announced that he had been following my journey and was deeply impressed by my talent and determination. He revealed that he would be purchasing several of my pieces for a special exhibition in Bangkok. The crowd erupted in applause, and I felt a surge of gratitude and relief. With Aaron's support and the money raised from the event, we were finally able to pay off the remaining debt. Nam and I stood on the stage, holding hands and thanking everyone for their support. It was a moment of pure joy and triumph. We had overcome the odds and found a way to build our future together. With the debt paid off, Nam and I were free to start our new life together. We moved into a small house in the old city, a place where we could create and grow as a family. The house had a little garden where Nam planted flowers and herbs, and a cozy studio where I could work on my art. Our baby was born a few months later, a beautiful boy with Nam's eyes and my smile. We named him Arun, which means dawn in Thai, symbolizing our new beginning. Life in Chiang Mai was everything we had dreamed of and more. We continued to explore the city, create art, and build our future together. The challenges we faced only made us stronger and more resilient. Nam pursued her dream of becoming a writer, working on her first novel while caring for Arun. I continued to paint, inspired by the beauty of our surroundings and the love that filled our home. My work gained more recognition, and I held exhibitions in Bangkok, Singapore, and even back in the States. We also made it a point to give back to the community that had supported us. We organized art workshops for local children, donated to charities, and helped other artists find their footing. Chiang Mai had given us so much, and we wanted to share our good fortune with others.